And now I'm going live here on Zoom as well. All right. So we are most probably live on Facebook. We're live on Zoom too. So there's pretty much nothing that stops us, that is stopping us to actually talk about Shoppr. I'm really excited, Nikunj. So hi everybody, thanks a lot for joining our first webinar, because this one will be really impressive, because it's a first webinar in a series of four-part webinar series with the founder of Shoppr, a new lifetime deal we're launching on in February next week. And we'll be talking about a lot of stuff, but most importantly, how to understand your community on a level that you maybe haven't understood before. So if you own an e-commerce store, if you are selling online, this webinar is for you. So please stick around. So the topic of today's webinar, before I will introduce you properly, the topic of today's webinar is why to truly understand your e-commerce customers. And Nikunj will be talking about this today together with me. He prepared some slides, so it's going to be so cool. So, hey, we'll be spending some time together, Nikunj. So, how are you? How are you feeling before this launch?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm super excited. A lot of people, after like announcing this deal, they have started checking out Shoppr. They've been reaching out to me like to understand how it works and stuff. So it's been exciting times. Our team is all pumped up, and we're trying to push a lot of new features before we go live, so uh, everyone gets excited about it. And we are also publishing our roadmap. So I think people would see like what is in it for them, what is upcoming, and based on that they can make the decision.
That sounds amazing.
Exciting times. Our team is all pumped up, and
Do
we're trying to push a lot of new features. I hear echo.
you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but there was
Perfect.
echo.
Perfect. Is it okay now?
Yes, it's fine.
All right. Yeah. So guys, thanks a lot for joining again. We are here with Nikunj, founder of Shoppr. An amazing deal will be launching next week. And this webinar, for all the people who are joining, will be talking about why to truly understand your e-commerce customers. So if you own an e-commerce store, or if you have a people in your network who own an e-commerce store, or you run an agency for e-commerce people, this webinar is for you. So of course, if you have any questions, please ask us below and we'll be answering them throughout the webinar. But now, without further ado, let's jump right into the topic, Nikunj.
Sure, definitely. I'll share my screen.
Yep. I see more people are joining. It's amazing to see you all here. Steven, hello. Max, amazing to see you here. Blanca, Razia, Shubham, Mizan, great to see you here all. All right, I can see your screen now.
Okay.
Well, it just says it. Yeah, now I can see it. Perfect.
Hello everyone. So as Jacob introduced, I am Nikunj Thakkar. I run a company called Data One Innovation Labs, and Shoppr.ai is one of the products that we are building. And today we are going to talk about understanding your customers better. To give you more context, I've been selling online since 2012. I used to sell on online marketplaces in India. Done a lot of in multiple categories. I've sold mobile accessories. I've sold shoes online. I've sold clothes online, and I currently run two other stores with this business. So today, what I'm going to talk about is basically to how to better understand your customers, why it is important, and how you can leverage this to grow your business. Okay, so let's do this.
Sounds exciting. Let's do it.
So why to understand your customer? So there's a meme that I found on internet which says, "Have you determined what motivates our consumer?" And so there's a hypnotherapist who says, no, I didn't, but I did help her remember where she puts her keys. And so understanding your customer is a bit difficult. It is about human behavior, a lot of psychology involved. There are a lot of parameters on how people act on internet, what motivates them to buy stuff online and stuff like that, right? So So why it is difficult is because every customer is unique. There are different parameters on which they make their buying decisions. Like, so if you see, I have added some icons here. They represent like qualities of each of the consumer that you will find online. So the first icon is a guy who is like stretching his head. That means this represents a user who are like very concerned about features, prices online. And usually what they will do is they will come to your store, they'll check out products, and then they will try to find out more about those products on internet, maybe at your competitors. They'll do a lot of research before making purchases, right? The second is the people who are like, take my money and give me the thing, right? So they will be opening up their wallets very quickly, and they don't want to get into hassle of doing a lot of research. These are mostly very busy people. They know what they want, and then they just are willing to pay for it. Then there are people who does a lot of online shopping. They know what they want and they buy in bulk. Then there are negotiators, so people who would find your products and then they will reach out to you and try to negotiate with you on prices and quality and stuff. Uh, then there is other category where people are always looking for discounts. So if you offer them discounts, that will motivate them to buy. And then there is a category where people are satisfied with what you offer, and then without bothering you, they will just make a purchase decision. And these are usually the people who, if you treat them well, if you service them well, they will keep on coming to your store and making more and more purchases. Okay, so these are overall categories. So if you see all of these categories, everyone has a different traits.
Yes.
Everyone has a different buying patterns on how they transact online, and this is not just for the e-commerce stores. This is applicable to almost any businesses online, right?
Negotiator is interesting. I cannot imagine that I would find a product on Amazon and I would reach to Jeff and, hey, can you give me a better price?
But that happens a lot. So so we run two online stores, and then a lot of people on our Instagram, they will drop me a message when they want to buy in bulk. So the listed price is, let's say, 499, and they will drop a message that I want to buy 5 or 10 pieces. Can you like
All
reduce the
right. Yeah.
price and stuff? So what makes customer tick? So basically, these are the parameters where generally customers uh, these are the parameters where that affects their buying decision. So the first one is lifestyle. So how like customers and what kind of lifestyle they are part of. So they could be college going person who doesn't like, after college they are doing some job, they don't have much time, that kind of a busy lifestyle, or a business person, or some like freelancer or stuff like that. So the kind of lifestyle they live in will affect a lot on the kind of products they buy online. This is very important to understand. So the best example of understanding the lifestyle of people, the company that has cracked this is Apple, right?
Yes.
Apple knows what kind of customer base they have, and then they would keep on launching product, and they will keep on getting more and more sales on those products. So they know that people buy it as a luxury products, and they have kept the pricing that way. They have targeted those kind of people. They don't like reduce prices for the products, and still they are able to make a lot of money out of it. The other thing is about needs and desire. So there are certain products which relates to customer needs. It could be food products, it could be the things that they need on daily routine basis. So, and then there are products which are based on desire. So need is something they must have, and desire is something that they should have. So these are the people who would be keep checking online, or they will see your ad and might think that I could use this product, or this could be a
Mm-hmm.
cool thing to have, kind of things. Uh, the next is demographics. So demographics is more about the age group, location they are based out of, the interests they have, uh, uh, occupation they have, those kind of things, right? So the consumer demographics also matters a lot when making a buying decision, right?
Yes.
Then there are environmental factors. So a lot of people nowadays are very concerned about environment. Uh, the product they are purchasing is recyclable or not, what is the harm it is causing on the environment and stuff like that, right? So they are worried about those factors, and that also is playing a key role in the buying decisions nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Brand behavior is also a key factor. They keep on checking out like what is the how the brand is performing online. So they will read about the reviews, they will read about previous customer complaints, they will check out their social media and stuff like this, and that also affects. We will see some interesting facts, numbers around this particular point in upcoming slides. And
Okay.
then there is a shopping attitude and behavior. There are people who are like compulsive online buyers, and they can't sleep at night if they have seen certain products online and they haven't made the purchase, right? So different interesting categories. And if all of these factors matters a lot when you are doing customer analytics, or trying to understand your customer better. So if you understand your customer from all of these aspects, you will be able to define your marketing strategy, define your offerings better, and grow your business.
Got it.
Yes. Any
I see
questions
more
so
people
far?
are joining. I see more people are joining. Guys, please, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. If you're running e-commerce store right now, it's a great time to ask any of your questions. We're discussing why it's important to understand your customers as an e-commerce store owner, or if you maybe run an agency which serves e-commerce customers, this webinar is for you. So if you have any questions, any suggestions, any ideas, tips, let us know in the comments, and we can discuss that as well.
Okay. Shall we move on?
Yep, let's move on to the next slide.
So next slide is about, so we understand why you have to understand your customers from which parameters and all. Now, which are the aspects that you need to understand? So what you need to know about your customer. These are like very generic things. So I haven't like put in like a lot of slides around it. These are just 10 points where I'll just read them out, and then most of the things you would understand. So first thing you need to know about your customer is who they are. So when you start a business, uh, every business does certain kind of analytics on what kind of
Mm-hmm.
products they will sell and whom they will sell. So it's like creating a buyer persona. These are the people who will buy my products, right? So understanding the buyer persona deeply is very important, and you should do this exercise more often. So when we started our company, we both of like our co-founders, we sat down and did an exercise on like who will be buying this product, how they will be buying this product, and stuff like this. And we keep
Mm-hmm.
on revising that buyer persona based on the new facts that we learn, right?
Okay.
The next thing is you have to understand what they do. So if you know like their lifestyle, if you know if they are working professional, if they are running a small business, if they are part of an MNC, or they are freelancer, that helps a lot to make certain business decisions, right? So understanding what they do, their lifestyle is also very key factor. Then next is
Mm-hmm.
why they buy. So in the first like second slide, we saw a person was trying to figure out what motivates their consumer, right? So you have to really understand why people are buying your product. So if you understand, if you figure this out, why they buy, what is the use case that they are solving using your product, you will be able to refine your offerings and create better value for them.
Can you
Right.
can you give me a specific example? Let's say that when you were selling shoes, or when you were running your e-commerce stores. So how exactly did you figure out why they buy?
So in our t-shirt store business, most of the people, so what we did is basically we keep on refreshing designs like based on what is trending on the internet that particular month, right? So everyone wants to like it was a cool factor. We were targeting college going kids and young people, and basically help them like wear their thoughts. So everyone, let's say if you are thinking about certain, if you're watching certain movies, you like a character, and they see a T-shirt about that character or a
Mm-hmm,
famous
mm-hmm.
line, they will immediately buy it, right? So it is about it is about a cool factor. In terms of shoes, it was more about the aesthetic, the durability, and stuff like that. So before buying shoes, they will most of the time they will call and they will ask about the quality. They will ask about uh, why, like if the size will fit perfectly or not, and stuff like that.
Okay.
About the comfort level and stuff, right? So you have to understand those little aspects about your product, and based on that, so this a lot of queries regarding why they are buying helped us refine our like product descriptions and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm,
and that also reduced the query and the conversion rate,
mm-hmm.
right? Then you need to understand when they are buying the product. So if you see Google Analytics, or it will tell you like when there are a lot of traffic from your store, and usually what time people are accessing your store or buying or making transactions, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
is very important. Uh, so let's say an employee of an organization usually gets free on Thursday between 4 to 6 p.m., right? So you know like when that person gets free and when there are higher chances of making the transaction. So you can target your ad campaigns during that particular period of time. You can send out an email campaign during that particular time, and that will increase the conversion ratio, right?
Okay.
Next is how they buy. So this is also very important. Like if they are making transaction through your website, or they are dropping you an order on Instagram or WhatsApp, or stuff like that, that is also important. So if a lot of people are not making a transaction on website and reaching out to you personally for the order, then you have to improve the checkout flow of your website. They might be finding it difficult to make the transaction online, or they are not able to trust the website or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are seeing a lot of these kind of transactions, then you have to understand like why a lot of people are using one channel over the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next is spending capacity of your customers. So obviously this is very important. If you know that they have money for your products, and then if you spend money on marketing those kind of users, then it makes sense. If your customer doesn't have that kind of spending power, then there's no point of doing marketing to those kind of audiences, right? The next is feel good factor. So after making purchase, what are the things that makes them feel good, right? So in our case, initially what we used to do is basically when we used to
Are you there? I'm not sure if we are still hearing Nikun. Please let us know in the chat on Facebook if you're watching, if you can still hear Nikun, because I think there might be technical problem on his side. I'm not sure if it's his or mine, but it looks good on my end. So let me please know in the chat if you can hear Nikun, or if you can hear us. Just write something like yes, uh, because this might happen sometimes. Anyway, before you will let me know in the chat, let me just guys know in the chat that like, yes, we can hear you, Jakub, we can see you. Meanwhile, we'll just wait for Nikunj to join again. So for those of you who are watching, I will just be ranting right here before he will join, because there's some technical issue probably. So Shoppr is launching next week, and we'll be doing a couple more webinars. Meanwhile, this is the first one, and it looks that Nikunj is back here. So do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened, but
It's
connection
okay.
suddenly stopped.
It happens, dude.
Are you still able to see my desktop?
No, you need to share again.
Okay. Now?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So we were talking about feel good factors. Meanwhile, are there any questions so far that we can take up?
We have a question from Razia here. Which one customer gives more priority, brand or the price?
Uh, so brand matters a lot. So it depends. So if you are in a market where let's say the item is the item is, let's say, not durable, so they are going to just like use it and throw it. In those kind of market, price matters a lot, because a lot of other, so you will see a lot of, let's say, mobile accessories or headphones or stuff like that, right? So there are so many options, so many brands, and then if they are just looking for a product which is going to last for 2 3 months, in that case price will play a little bit more crucial role than the brand. But in the long run, when you are like creating a larger customer base, in that case the quality will improve over the time, and then the brand will take over,
Mm-hmm.
right? But in products like clothing, in products like mobiles, and those kind of things which is going to last longer, in those scenarios people tend to lean towards brand more.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
I hope that we
uh,
answered. Please let us know if you answered your question. If not, just please specify a question a little bit more and we'll dive into it again.
sure.
All right, let's move on.
Sure. So I was talking about feel good factors. So I think I've given example of handwritten notes to the customers, and then we can use that to in our marketing strategies and stuff like that. Next is expectations from you or your brand. So when customers making purchase, they have certain kind of expectations from the brand, that if I'm buying from this particular brand, this will be the level of quality, this will be the level of customer service and stuff like that, right? So you also need to understand when people are making purchases, what is their expectation from you or the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Their perception of your brand also matters a lot. So if they are like very confident about your brand, or if they are new to your brand and they don't know what it is and how the experience is going to be, that also plays a key role. And their perception of your competitors also matters a lot. So when, let's say, you have a lot of competitors, and if they have had a bad experience with your competitor, then they are more likely to buy from you, and that also plays in your part,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can also always capitalize on those kind of opportunities when you get it. Okay.
Great.
So this is a quote from Slack co-founders. So he says, of course, hard numbers tell an important story. User stats and sales numbers will always be key metrics. But every day, your users are sharing a huge amount of qualitative data too. And a lot of companies either don't know how or forget to act on it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Slack just recently landed a very huge contract from IBM, winning over Microsoft Teams, and coming this from him, on like how why it is very important to understand your customers and what they are sharing,
Mm-hmm.
uh, tells a lot about uh, the topic that we are talking about, right? So a lot of theories. Let's see the numbers around it. So I've compiled certain numbers that would be interesting, and emphasize on understanding your customers better. So this was the survey which was done by McKinsey. It was obviously done for larger brands or corporates, but it also is very applicable to the use case that we are talking about. So
Mm-hmm.
the chart on the right hand side, I just recreated it to have a better visibility. So they have done a survey of some 150 or 200 major corporates which are using customer analytics for their businesses. And these are the numbers from those corporates where uh, blue represents without customer analytics or not uh, using it extensively. And in the darker blue shade is with customer analytics, where organizations are giving more emphasis on customer analytics. So you see the number in profit. Uh, the organizations which emphasize on customer analytics have seen 126% higher growth in terms of profit. In terms of sales, they have seen 131% increase. In terms of sales growth, they have seen 186%. And in terms of ROI, they are like 132%
Mm-hmm.
better than
Mm-hmm.
the organization which are not giving that much importance to customer analytics. So if the larger brands are doing, why as a small business you should not do it, right? So that is why we have created Shoppr to give all e-commerce store owners power of understanding the customers better, to use data analytics in a right way and grow their business. Some more numbers. So if you see 21.8% of the world's population buys online. This number is like 79% of American population buys online.
Hmm.
So the market is huge, and if you understand the people better, if you're able to utilize that understanding in your business, you will do wonders. Uh, 80% of consumers today make buying decisions through online research. So whenever they are making their next purchase, they will go online, they will search about those products, they will read reviews and then make the decision. 97% of consumer trust online reviews. So if you are running an online store, make sure that you have a plugin that allows users to drop reviews and make sure that those reviews are positive. They talk motivate your customer to drop reviews for your product when they make purchases, and that will play a key role
Mm-hmm.
for your growth. uh, 4.68 billion cell phone users in 2020, and over 95% of the population is the US has a cell phone with internet connection. So if your strategy does not include marketing people on their mobile devices, do use this. This is a very huge number. This is almost like 50% of world population which is using mobiles, having internet, browsing stuff online. So do like focus more on doing your ads or running your ads on mobile devices. And I think that's it from my end. We can take questions now. And
All right, let me check if we have some questions. By the way, thanks a lot for this amazing presentation. It was really insightful, and thanks a lot for making all this research and getting to get these data. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, I mean, there will be, guys, more webinars on this topic. Uh, in fact, there will be 3 more webinars. I will tell you the exact dates and the exact topics. I will tell you a little bit after this. So we have a question here. Well, it's more like a suggestion. You didn't talk about shipping, where most customers want speed delivery. I think this is regarding like what triggers customers, and like the delivery speed is quite important. Do you agree?
right, right. So the shipping speed problem arises when you are drop shipping and the shipping time is like really high. In those cases, you need to find a local stocker or maybe a supplier and try to reduce those times. That will improve the conversion on your store. We are going to talk more about like, so today we have talked about understanding your consumer behavior. Tomorrow we are going to like talk about these kind of matrices which plays a key role in growing your business. So I think tomorrow's webinar is going to be more actionable and site heavy,
Okay.
where we will talk about these kind of things like demographics of consumer, from where they are buying, their purchase patterns, understanding them, and then defining a marketing strategy around it, and stuff like that.
Razia is also asking if we can advise on how to handle international shipping. Do you have some 2 cents on this you could share?
So international shipping depends on which country you are based out of, and what kind of providers there are. So in India, we have seen like a lot of new providers are coming in, offering international shipping at much cheaper rates, and that has like created a whole new market for people to like export products from India to outside and sell globally. I'm not sure from where are you, but there are like, I'm sure there will be providers which will provide international shipping at a cheaper rates, to try to figure out, go for a balanced approach of a international shipping rate which is not like that cheaper, and does not provide you guarantee of shipping your products on time. Maybe find a balanced player who will also cheaper and provides you guarantee of shipping your goods on time. Because like handling, if you sell products internationally, and then there are refunds or returns, that will cost you a lot. So you have to be very careful about international shipping in terms of refunds
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
returns.
Great. Thanks a lot for answering. I don't see any other questions. Guys, so if you have more questions, you can ask them. I will be quickly walking you through what to expect next in upcoming days. So we are doing what is called what we are doing here is called e-commerce customer analytics academy. Understand your audience and skyrocket your revenue. So this was the first webinar out of 4-part webinar series, and you can, well, I will now show you the schedule of what is expected next. So let me just click here. All right, so tomorrow we're talking about 6 actionable steps to fully understand your audience. So as Nikunj said, it will be more practical and more actionable than it was today. Today we just introduce you to the topic, what exactly are the reasons you should be paying attention to your customers, and why it's important to understand them. And if you joined a little bit later throughout during the webinar, it will be available as a replay on Facebook and YouTube as well, so you can check it. So as I said, tomorrow, 6 actionable steps to fully understand your audience. And then on Friday, creating e-commerce customer segments to massively grow your revenue. So we'll be talking about different types of customers who are making purchases on your store, and then how to create the segments out of them, so you know like what message resonates with them, what you should be showing to them, and so on. Because not everything, not all your products are for all of your customers. So what we will that's what we will discuss here on February 14th. And then next week, Shoppr is live, detailed walkthrough, step-by-step installation and Q&A. So guys, as usual, we'll be showing you how exactly you can use it. We'll show you how to install it, and we'll answer all of your questions. And I will be answering the questions again you ask during these 4 webinars. So if you need more clarification, please join us next week too. Once again, guys, it's shoppr.heysummit.com, and you can just grab your seat here, and we'll send you all the notification and all the fun stuff. So Nikunj, is there anything else you would like to say to people before we wrap this first webinar up?
Yeah, definitely. So, first of all, thank you all for joining this webinar. It was interesting, and I look forward to talking to you more, understanding what are you expecting out of Shoppr, what next we can have. And definitely, I think it is going to be, the next 3 webinars are going to be very interesting. So don't miss them. Do join us in the conversations, and also keep it
Absolutely.
fun. You can ask any kind of questions. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Guys,
it.
so yeah, join us tomorrow. Join us next week. and join us on Friday as well. So basically, yeah, 3 webinars are this week. So yeah, it was amazing. Thanks a lot for preparation, and thanks a lot for all the value you share, Nikun. And for everybody, thanks again for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow, same time. Bye.
Bye.